Good morning. Welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. I am on a little bit early this morning. Y'all, let me tell you something. Last night my nose was a little bit stopped up. And you know, that happens from time to time. And I know whenever it's really cold outside and I use the heat inside a lot, my nose gets stopped up. Not sick or anything. It just happens. It has always happened for years. I don't know how long. But anyway, I went to bed last night at my usual time around 11 or so, and I took some NyQuil. I haven't drank any NyQuil in years. When I say it was like being pushed off a cliff, I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock. I never sleep that late. And when I tell you I am dragging, so I have got me some coffee this morning in my grateful mug, because although I'm dragging, I'm still grateful. But I'm just rambling on a little bit while we're waiting for a couple people to join. I want to show you guys some things inside before we get to what's going on outside. So today I've got a couple little projects that I'm going to be working on, and as I've explained to y'all before, is I always gardening stuff in every area of my house. Gardening can be expensive when you first start out. So this is one of the ways when you can reduce the expense, excuse me, is by starting your own seeds. It's easy to go into Lowe's or Home Improvement or any other nursery and buy starter plants, but a small starter plant is $4 or $5, and a larger one can be up to $20, especially if you're buying a tomato. But these tomato seeds I bought for 25 cents each. And then, I don't know if you can hear that, it's really low because tomato seeds are small. But there are many, many seeds in here. And instead of using these little seed starter pods, which were pretty inexpensive, it was 12 for $1, you can use a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll and just cut it into pieces, because these are biodegradable. They will actually dissolve is the wrong word. They will degrade over time. And once your plant grows, you just plant this whole tube in the ground or in your potting mix or in your pot, excuse me. Told y'all, I just woke up. That NyQuil worked a number on me last night. But this is one of the ways that you can reduce the cost of starting or gardening. So I'm going to be planting today some beefsteak tomatoes, a large red cherry, and aroma variety. And I will be able to put them outside probably in April. But by that time, they'll have nice size to them. And it extends your growing season, because come June, I will have tomatoes. But I also wanted to show you this. So last year was the first year I did sweet potatoes. And I didn't start them till May, and I'm going to show you what I did when I actually get ready to plant these. But these are my sweet potatoes that I'm starting indoors now. You see, that one already has some slips growing, and they both have roots growing. And I just started this about 2 weeks ago. But this is how you get a jump on your growing season. Gardening is all about preparation and preparing, so that when it's actually warm outside, I can just stick that in my grow bag and have sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes take a long time to grow now. It's not one of those things that's a couple of months. It's like 8 or 9 months. But you'll be able to have a good harvest of sweet potatoes growing, and they'll have nice size to them. So we're going to head outside now. And God, y'all, it's cold out here. When I say cold, I'm talking about like 20 degrees cold. I'm going to do a faux pas. I need to lay my phone down for a second. I forgot to pick my broccoli up. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. So sorry. But today's topic is stand firm. So I wanted to show you what standing firm really looks like. So all of these plants out here, most of them are from the brassica family. That means kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. I'm coming to you early because I wanted to show you this. You see how limp everything looks. It looks like it has had it. I'm sorry, y'all. People are messaging me like crazy. The cilantro looks done. Like, I can't do this no more, Kim. I'm finished. But if I had come out here 30 minutes later at my regular time and it warmed up, these plants will be standing up just like they are every other day. They are cold tolerant. They can withstand temperatures down to the low 20s. And this broccoli, oh my God, that leaf actually feels froze. But they stand firm even in cold, harsh weather. So I'm going to try to sit out here, y'all, but it's cold. And I have on cold weather gear and layer. Oh, that chair cold. But it's cold. So this morning I want to talk to you for just a minute about standing firm. You know, things are going to happen in life, and we have all been going through, can y'all see my breath? I can see it. An unprecedented amount of change and disaster and death on every hand. I remember one day last week, within a 2-day period, I learned of the death of 4 people that all of them, none of them were in my immediate family, but they were either cousins that I knew or, you know, people that I've known my entire life from my community. That was 4 people in 2 days. Before you can wrap your mind around one thing and start preparing about how I'm going to do visitation. Am I going to do any visitation? Because of the climate that we're in, you were hearing of something else that just shakes you to your core. And that's not even taking on, you know, everything else that just happens on a day in and day out basis. But there's been so much going on recently that some of us are starting to feel like we are going to break. I was at a meeting at church on last Wednesday, and one of the ladies said that, asked when we were going back in the sanctuary. She said, because some people need this, they are about to break. And today I just want to encourage you to stand firm in your conviction and stay in your word, stay on your knees praying, and continue to turn to God in every situation. Because this is the thing, when you are deeply rooted, how deep are your roots? That's something that I used to ask people all the time. How deep are your roots? Because if you have deep, deep roots, the wind can blow, and it will blow fiercely. But a tree that doesn't have very deep roots, if a hard wind comes up, it will topple it over and it will break. But if you are deeply rooted, if you have deep, deep roots, those deep roots, you know, the tree is standing here, but if you go out 500 yards in that direction, you'll still be finding roots from that tree. That tree is deeply rooted. The wind will blow. It may bend, it may bow, but it doesn't break because it is deeply rooted. Because that's where your strength comes from, your roots. That's where you take up your nutrients from your roots. It's like, so stand firm. Stand tall. And when you are deeply rooted, when you stay rooted in the word, when things come up, y'all, let me tell you something. So, you know, my father passed away last September, not from COVID, but, you know, he was 78. It was his time to transition. Been the hardest thing I ever went through in my life. But then this past week, somebody in my immediate family is sick and in the hospital. Now, I'm not going to put their name out there because they haven't posted about it on social media, so it's not my place to. But when I tell you, this week has been one of them weeks that I told a friend of mine yesterday, I've been crying and praying all week long. Crying and praying, crying and praying. And when I say the crying is not so much in desperation, it's crying out to God. So when I tell you I have had a trying week, but I stood firm. It's like Donnie McClurkin said it best. What can you do when you've done all you can? You just stand. And that ability to stand is what got me through decades of chronic knee pain. When I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how I was going to make it through the next hour, let alone, you know, this minute. No, the next hour, let alone the next day. I said that wrong. I would just stand. I was like, you know what, God, just keep me. I don't know what the purpose of this. I mean, I used to cry out to him, say, God, I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but I know you have a plan for me. And eventually he revealed that plan to me. It's like, because I would not be the person that I am today had I not gone through those years of chronic pain, had I not suffered. And when I say I suffered, y'all, I suffered tremendously. And I never knew my body could hurt that bad until it did. Because I'm talking about a burning, excruciating pain, 24 hours a day. Couldn't sleep. You couldn't sleep with your legs straight because they would lock in place, and you couldn't sleep with them bent because they would lock in place still. But then when you tried to straighten it out, oh my God, you were already in pain, but it was bad. It was real bad. But then not to sleep at night, but to have to get up and try to go walk around a office building that was stories high. What did I do? I stood. But in addition to that, I used everything that I know to keep going. I used my meditation. I used visualization. I used alternative pain management, because my goal was, I'm like, you know what? I could take these pills and slip off into an abyss. And 10 years from now, I won't have a life. I won't have anything, because the drugs would have eaten it all up. But I stood firm in my conviction that I'm not going to become a drug addict, that I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to continue to cry out to God to comfort me, to save me. And that's exactly what he did. So this morning, I just wanted to encourage you to stand firm, just like these plants out here. Let me show you again for those of you who just got on. And they've even already started to perk up a little bit. But these plants, when it gets really cold, they will flop over, and they will literally look like they have died. The cilantro, when I come out here in an hour, that plant will be standing straight up like nothing ever happened, like it has not even been phased by the harshness, by the cold that it experienced last night. And that's what I want you to do. Don't be phased by the harshness and the coldness that we are experiencing in our life today. Stand firm. Stand firm in your conviction of, you know who God is, and you know his word, and you know what he said, and you know what he promised to you. If he gave you a vision years ago of something, whatever that may be, for your business, for your family, something for your life, don't lose sight of that. Don't become faint, because God's word does not come back void. Now, this is the thing. I want you to realize it may not show up in the way that you anticipated showing up. That was one of the things that I had to realize. It's like, because God has given me everything that he said he was going to give me, it just didn't show up in the way that I anticipated. So, guys, stand firm. Stand firm in your who God is. Stand firm in that you know what you know what you know. Sometimes you got to know what you know what you know. And then just continue to speak the words out of your mouth that God gave you. The words we speak, they have a tremendous power over us and everything around us. Because do you know that there's actually scientific research that if you speak positive words to your plants, that they do better. But if you yell at them, they are often, them things will fall over and die, y'all. And same thing happens to us. If you speak harsh words to your kids, they may not physically die, but it'll kill them on the inside. But if you speak positive words to them, they will grow into the most little beautiful human you ever wanted to imagine. So today, stand firm. Know what you know what you know. I got to go back inside, y'all, because when I tell you it's 20 degrees out here, and I can't wear gloves when, see, my hands are shriveled up and everything. I can't wear gloves when it's 20 when I'm doing this, because I can't operate my phone. But it's cold out here. But guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. I love you all so very much. Please share the video. Somebody out there today is feeling weighed down, and they need to be encouraged to just stand. What can you do when you've done all you can? You just stand. Thank you, Donnie McClurkin. But anyway, guys, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.